What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of At Home with Mark. Holy shit, it is season 5, episode 1, and I couldn't ask for a cooler way to kick this off than with Wax. Dude, thank you so much for doing this, man. I'm so excited. I haven't had any hip-hop artists on yet. So this
Wow.
is a whole new frontier, and this is such a guitar nerd channel, but I love your music and I want to get into all that stuff. But thanks, dude.
Hey, I got guitars and shit in here, man.
We can do it.
But nerd out however you want to nerd out. But I appreciate you having me, man, and it's an honor to be the first rapper on your show.
Yeah, man, this is gonna be great. I have so many freaking questions, dude. I usually have like pages of questions, and I never get to them all. But we'll do our best. We'll see what we can get to here. My
Sure.
question to you, and this is like my first question always, Wax, to people is like what's your earliest musical memory?
My earliest musical memory. Uh, I don't know that I have one like thing that stands out. I don't know if I have like a moment, but I definitely like was a big MTV kid. My family is it like from my dad and my older sister and my a very couch potato family. A lot of TV. We were like the first people. Like we got cable early on, and I watched a lot of MTV. So like a lot of my early musical memories are that. I do remember, um, and I'm older for anybody wondering. I do remember being in my aunt Kathy's car in the back seat when I was like a little kid. I must have been really little, and hearing "Every Breath You Take" by the Police. And I
Yeah,
and
man.
I remember just thinking, oh, my aunt Kathy's cool. She listens to like rock, whatever you consider the Police. I don't know, but I just remember being like, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years old, I suppose, when that shit came out, uh, and just thinking, man, my aunt Kathy's cool.
Yeah,
But I
man.
also I was a big MTV kid, man. Big like
Okay.
since like I was allowed to watch whatever on TV since I was like a little kid, and me and my brother and my older sister, from hair metal to Madonna to when they started doing Yo MTV raps, like we would put in VHS tapes and just hit record
Yeah,
and
man.
just record. We had tapes of just MTV just playing. You know what I mean? So all those old videos from the 80s and early 90s were like super influential to me. I wanted to be on MTV. I sometimes sit back and think about how my life has progressed, and it's funny how influential that shit from my childhood, that channel on television, was to getting me here today. And it was funny because I actually ended up getting on MTV, and by the time I was on MTV, MTV sucked. You know what I'm saying? Like the dream like that I had of being on MTV. Once I got on there, it wasn't as cool of a thing anymore. I don't know.
What's the equivalent now? Like, what is hip now?
That's a good question, man.
You know,
Everything's so fragmented now.
mm-hmm.
Like everything is just like there's segments of popular culture, and there's only a little bit of space for like huge things that everybody knows. I don't even know if there is anything like that. The biggest artists like Bad Bunny and Drake, like a lot of people don't know who they are. A lot of people do not listen to the radio and do not watch popular culture related shit. So I don't
Right.
know. I don't even know what it is.
Do you listen to the radio on the regular?
No.
Me either.
I do every now and again. Like when I'm with my brother and his kids, my brother likes to put on the radio and listen to like just to see what's going on. And sometimes as almost like a research thing, I'll go to like I'll go to like the top 100 on Spotify just to see like what's going on in the world of popular music every once in a while. But
Mm-hmm.
I never like if I'm in my car, what 0% of the time I turn on the radio. No.
Right. Right. It's an interesting like switch because like our demographic. I mean, I'm in my early 40s.
Uh-huh.
I don't think we're
Me
too
too.
far off.
Yeah.
But it is interesting because I grew up in a household we didn't have MTV, but my friends did. Do you remember the box? Do you remember
I
that
do.
channel?
I do. Yeah.
You're like the first time I saw like Sir Mix-a-Lot, like
Right.
put him on the
Right.
glass or something like that. Like we used to,
Right.
as young boys, we used to be like, oh my gosh, what is this, man? Like, like,
Right.
but
Right.
it's just like it's changed so much, throughout. our lives, we've seen a crazy amount of change in the industry, like
Dude,
enormous.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's like you and 10 years from now, who knows what it's going to be. I mean, in social media and the internet in general right now, like everything's different than it was 2 years ago, you know?
Yep, that's true.
So
That's
you
true.
never know. You never know what it's going to be. But we grew up in an interesting time. You had to buy CDs. I remember when I would buy tapes. I mean, there was definitely just more of like when it came to music, like there was a funnel of I don't know, more people knew what was huge. You know, everybody knew Michael Jackson and Madonna and shit. And
Hmm.
like not everybody knows Doja Cat and Bad Bunny and Drake. Not everybody knows it. You know.
Right. What was the first record you bought with your own hard money? Like, what was the first record you bought?
It was either, and you know, it's funny is I have an identical twin brother, so we would buy each other for Christmas. We would always get each other a tape or record or whatever. Not with our own hard-earned money. We were young, you know, we
Yeah,
were
right.
8 or whatever. Like we were real into music since an early age because of MTV mostly. But I remember He's the DJ, I'm the Rapper by Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
we had Appetite for Destruction on tape. One of us bought I don't know who got who for what, but one of us bought that. We had fucking Def Leppard Hysteria on tape.
Yeah, man.
Uh, dude, I had David Lee Roth's solo album that Yankee Rose was on a vinyl record.
Whoa.
That's how old I am, dude. I had the whatever Aerosmith album has Janie's Got a Gun we had.
Yeah, man.
I don't give a shit if I'm dating myself either. I don't fucking care.
No, dude.
I got into music real early, man. We were infatuated with it, you know?
Yeah. So you and your brother both, I know you guys like still collaborate and work together and everything, but like from a very early age, I mean, I have friends who are twins and like, they're like, you're never going to understand the bond there. Like you just won't. But like, it's cool how like music kind of seeped into both of you. Cause sometimes I know a couple of people who like one person's really into one thing and the other person's not.
Yeah,
Like,
there's definitely individualism there, but I think as you grow older, that becomes more and more apparent. You know, when you're like really small, you're more and more you kind of like grow like that when you're
yeah,
like identical twins. You know, and me and him have a unique experience too because we're adopted, so we're not genetically related to our parents who raised us. You know, like people always talk on podcasts like this, like musicians are always like, yeah, my dad was a bass player and my mom was a trumpet player. My uncle was fucking always took us down to the jazz club or whatever. Like we were not like that, dude.
yeah,
My
right.
my parents are not music people. Like I'm not saying they don't like music, but they don't play music. They're not super rhythmic. You know what I'm saying? They don't have my parents don't have favorite bands really. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they play Christmas music at Christmas time. You know what I mean? And my parents like show tunes. They like Broadway show tunes.
Nice.
So,
But they got to be proud of what you guys are doing though, too.
hey
You know?
man, the thing is like they were super supportive though. You know, like we had to ask. We had to be like, we want that. We want, you know what I'm saying? But they were super supportive. Like my brother had a drum set since he was like 9 or something, and it was loud. It was, you know what I'm saying? Like
Oh, yeah.
they put up with a lot, you know?
Yeah.
So
Saints.
we owe it to them, man. We were really, really, really lucky because we grew up in like the suburbs, so we could have a drum set. We didn't grow up in an apartment or something where the neighbor's gonna knock on the door. Like so, we were really, really blessed, man.
Yeah. Did you grow up in Havre de Grace or did you grow up
No,
somewhere
I grew up
other?
in southern Maryland, a town called
Okay.
Dunkirk. It's like
Oh, yeah.
so it's like I mean 40 minutes southeast of DC, maybe
Okay.
45 minutes. You know where Upper Marlboro is? It's close
Yeah,
to
of course.
that.
Yeah, man.
It's very close to like the Chesapeake Bay. It's like, you know.
Yeah, it's like a water town, right? Kind of.
When I grew up it was more when I grew up it was more rural and now it's becoming more suburban, you know what I'm saying? It just looks like everywhere else in America. It looks like Waldorf, you know. You're from up there. Are you from up there? You're from like up north?
Yeah, Bel Air is where I grew up.
Oh, okay.
So, but it's, I don't know why I thought you guys were Havre de Grace, but Yeah, I mean, it's Maryland is definitely like Bel Air in and of itself has changed a lot. I mean, every
Mhm.
town is growing in you know, my parents still live there and I go there to see them
Yeah.
and whatnot. But I mean, Maryland's great, dude. Like having lived different places, you know, you get all the seasons here. You know how it is. You know,
I
it's
was just there, man. I was just there. You know, my parents still live in the same house that I was raised in.
that's
They
awesome.
have never moved, and I was there last week. It was my dad's 80th birthday, and so
Nice.
I took my new my relatively new girlfriend home and met the family. You know what I'm saying?
Look at
And
you.
so we did the whole thing. We ate crab cakes at various restaurants. You know what I'm saying? My girl is born and raised San Diego. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
never been to Maryland. It's like everything is so green and lush and wet. You know what I'm saying? Like out here, out here like everybody's trying to water everything and hoping things will grow. Back there, you're trying to cut everything down because everything's you know, it's just green. It's green and
Dude,
lush.
we've had a lot of rain this summer too, and we had a huge I think we had a tornado come through a couple weeks ago, man. Like
Dang.
there was some serious damage in on like the road that I live on, like all these trees were down and stuff. Like I had a ton of yard work I had to do. I had to cut up all these trees and whatnot. It was nuts, but I love it here, man. There's, you know, it's home. It's
Yeah.
period. Um let me ask you. So you said Aunt Kathy, right?
Right. Right.
So Aunt Kathy exposes you to the police. So at that moment, are you like thinking, hey, maybe I can do that? Maybe I can learn an instrument? Or like when did that creep in?
That's a good question, man. I think that the learn an instrument thing was more from the visual aspect of it. And keep in mind this MTV era of like the late 80s that I'm talking about, there's like guitars were really big, but also hip hop was really big. So like both of those things, like I don't know, I definitely had a natural thing where my brain goes, I want to do that. I want to be on MTV. And like I want to have like the way that they have songs, I want to have songs. The way that they play, I want to, you know what I'm saying? I guess that was really influential to me. I don't know, but um I don't think the police thing, I think I was really young and just noticed that I thought it was cool or something, but all those Guns N' Roses, NWA, DJ Jazzy
Yeah.
Jeff and the Fresh Prince, like all these people made me want to do it. Like I remember memorizing uh the Fresh Prince, like Will Smith's lyrics when I was a kid, you know, and like there was a dude on their album that would beatbox. I remember learning how to. Me and Chris learned. My brother's name's Chris. We learned how to beatbox. We would do the dances and shit, you know.
Yeah, man.
We were adorable, bro. We were adorable.
Dude, I remember that record because I remember that like Freddy Krueger tune
Yep,
on that
yep.
record.
Nightmare on My Street.
Yeah, yeah. I remember that tune as a kid and being like fascinated with like how he brought pop culture into his music kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah,
And thinking like, oh wow, this is like as a young kid thinking, you know, not realizing it's a social commentary on what's going on in the world, but like it's a time capsule now if you listen to that record, you know.
mhm,
And I think
yeah,
there's some records, and you know, you could tell me if there's a specific record for you that encapsulates this, but like I think that sometimes records don't do that. They don't they're kind of timeless in a
yeah,
way, whereas that record is capturing an era of music history or like
yeah,
pop culture, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like are there
That's
any
a
records that you can think of like that are stick out
well.
to you?
There's certain music. Take rap music from like the late '80s, early '90s, like that had like that New Jack Swing element to it. You know, some of the stuff Big Daddy Kane and whatnot was doing back there, like I mean, even some of the early Tupac, it's a production thing, you know, like the drums are dated. I mean, nowadays, like the way everything sounds so pristine now, like I dare you to go listen to Holiday by Madonna now. Every fucking note she sings on that record is flat. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? We're so used to everything being auto-tuned and perfect now that like if you listen to some of that shit from the 80s, it was big hits, you'd be like, damn, like Madonna sang flat, like every fucking note, you know? And they just accepted it because the song, you know, whatever. Everybody sounds like a computer because they essentially are, you know what I mean?
Right,
But yeah, I
right.
think that you're right. Some things like granted, Michael Jackson off the wall. It does sound like that time, but there's something about it that's classic with the horns and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The production, like you could still put that shit out today and it would be hot. You know what I
Oh my
mean?
God, yeah.
Or even like some of the boom bap, like Nas Illmatic. It still
Mm.
stands the test of time. But there's certain things, any hair metal, for example, take a
Yeah.
fucking you know how you listen to, you know, I don't know what station's still out there. Like what if you were to listen to 98 Rock, if they still have that in Baltimore or DC or whatever. Like if you listen to a rock station now, they're still playing Green Day, they're still playing Nirvana, they're still playing Stone Temple Pilots. Like that shit is classic.
Yeah, yeah.
They're not playing Cinderella.
Right.
They're not playing Rat. That shit was not classic. That encapsulates a time period. And
Right.
it's hard to say at the time it happens what's going to be the one that kind of like stands this timelessness test of time. And that 90s grunge stuff did. I mean, I'm sure
Dude.
there's examples of stuff in that genre that didn't as well, but hair metal did not. Like 1990-ish hip hop, like in the same MC Hammer was the biggest fucking thing. Not
Yeah.
timeless.
No.
You don't hear that Vanilla Ice, MC Hammer, even some of like the other like sort of New Jack Swing stuff. I mean, you know, Belle Biv DeVoe is timeless, but
Oh yeah, my God, yeah.
yeah,
Great.
I know what you mean. I mean,
Yeah.
a good example of timeless is the Police. You know,
Yeah.
that shit could be hot now.
Oh my God, dude. I mean, I feel like there's like a whole section of a period of music at time and in the music history. Like, you know, a lot of people talk about the 60s and 70s being like the be all end all kind of thing. But I would argue there's great music out right now, and there's great people and great artists like yourself and many other people who are like, I had my daughter, I watched, are you hip to Madison Cunningham?
Not really, no.
Damn, dude.
When I say not really, I mean not at all.
She is otherworldly in terms of being like a songwriter. She's she's like probably mid 20s, late 20s. She just did a Tiny Desk NPR concert in their studio.
Really?
And dude, you gotta watch that. It's a master class in songwriting. Like
Okay.
my daughter is starting to like sing and want to be interested in playing guitar and stuff. And I was like, and Madison plays guitar, but I watched it twice this weekend because I was so
Damn.
I'm like, this woman is such a powerful songwriter. I mean, dude, there's one track where she's playing solo by herself without her band. She's playing this old like Silvertone. I think it's a Silvertone or like an old harmony, like a piece of crap acoustic. Actually,
how old is the Tiny Desk?
just last week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it then.
but dude, she's playing this beautiful arpeggiated thing, and then one of the notes that she's playing is actually tapping on the body of the guitar, and it resonates at a specific frequency, so it's an octave up in the arpeggio.
Wow.
And I was like, holy shit, you have no I didn't know how to explain it to my kid, but I was like, you have no clue the brilliance in what is happening in this moment right now. So there's stuff like that I'm like, there's plenty of great stuff going on right now that people
There
have
always is.
you
There
know?
always
So,
is, yeah.
but
Madison
anyway,
Cunningham, I like, you know, I'm almost embarrassed I'm not up on it. I will check that out.
yeah, I'll send it to you after this or something.
I
But
discover a lot of shit on Tiny Desk. That's one of
oh,
the
it's amazing, dude.
main vehicles of discovery nowadays. I guess that's what we were talking about before. Now you're like, what's the new MTV? I guess at this point, being on Tiny Desk in a way, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, YouTube is the new MTV, right? Like
Right.
people putting videos. I mean, you do all that stuff all the time, you know, putting out videos and popping them on your channel and stuff. And
Right.
that's how you spread the word now. So let me ask you, so growing up in Maryland and like when you get to that point where you want to play an instrument, so your brother's playing the drums, you know, did you gravitate towards guitar? Like that's what was the main thing that you're like, I can write if I get this and I can write music? Like, was that the kind of driving factor behind it?
Yeah, I did gravitate towards guitar. Probably because that was just kind of like the cool instrument of the time. You know what I mean? Like if you watch, that's the instrument most people played. You know, and
Hmm.
you know, my parents never put me in piano lessons or anything like that. I wish they would have. You know, but they never did. And I remember getting this guitar. It was like I got a guitar for Christmas. My godfather, who I called uncle, gave it to me. It was a nylon string guitar, and it was like an adult guitar. I was like 10. It was really hard. It was hard to play the fucking high action or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But then soon after that, I got like a imitation Strat. You know what I mean? Like one of those ones you get at the music shop for like it's Christmas pack, $100 for little amp, the guitar, and the
Yeah, man.
strings or whatever, you know. And I remember discovering distortion. I was like, what the fuck? You know, we had no information. You know what I'm saying? Kids now
Yeah.
have all this information available. Like I remember playing the guitar and be like, how does they sound like that? And then like I hit the button on the amp and it was like a gain thing. I was like, what the fuck? I remember that moment. But yeah, I was a I was always like, even I've been playing guitar for fucking 30 years now, and I'm still not great at it, but I've always looked at it like as a tool to write songs. Even then, like I just kind of gravitated towards the writing aspect of it rather than the mastery aspect of it, you know?
So it was like your paintbrush in a way, like
Yeah,
enabled you to be an artist and get your voice out over top of that.
absolutely.
Because I remember, like, so if we go back to, early days, if you're jamming with your brother, right? Did you guys start playing together early on, just goofing and trying to figure out how to do this music thing? Like, was that kind of a natural thing that happened between you two?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like he started on drums and I started on guitar, and then eventually he also started he's gravitated towards bass. But yeah, always. And I think even before even before we started playing, like we would be singing stuff we saw on MTV or heard on the radio. We'd be doing dances that we saw them doing, like synchronized, you know, like the
Kid and
dances and
play.
whatnot. Exactly.
Yeah, man.
All that. And yeah, once we were in like middle school, we had a band with another kid on the street, and we were writing songs about, you know, we had an awesome song actually about a girl that worked at the video store. There was like a hot girl. We were probably 12 or 13 and she was probably 16. We had like a song about the girl that worked at the video store. It was fire.
Nice.
Yeah.
The Blockbuster down the road.
This was actually before Blockbuster took over.
Oh, snap.
This was Star World Video, which was taken over by Blockbuster, and our song was called Star World Video Girl.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome. That's the great thing about your music too. Like
It was like this. Hold up.
oh, here we go.
The riff was like, the riff was. And then we just be like, then we just vamp and the bass go doom,
Nice.
but nah. Yeah, and doom, boom, 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 boom. It's like a Sabbath kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, that's like hip. That's like you guys are using tritones as a
And we're like,
13-year-old
yeah,
kid.
you know, it's like, yeah, you know, you're in my dream. Yeah, my Star World Video queen. Doom, 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 doom. Yeah, you know, you look so good. Doom, doom, doom. And something. I wish I would. I don't know what the lyrics
Nice,
were, but I
man.
remember that. That's one for the memory banks that I haven't fucking thought about in a long time.
That's hip for some
Holy
young kids,
shit.
man. That's great.
Yeah, most of our shit was not hip. Most of our
I don't
shit
know
was
about
not
that.
hip.
So I remember we can talk a little about transition into like, was MacGregor the first band that you guys had together that was like, all right, we're going for this?
Yeah, because the band that I just played, we were like kids when we did that band, and then when I was in high school, me and my brother and my boy Fraser had trio. I was on guitar, my brother was on bass, and then Fraser was on drums. Really good drummer. And we were a trio in high school, and we called ourselves MacGregor. I don't know why. I never liked that name. I don't know, but we always thought like, yeah, well, we had it too. We can't change it now. You know, you
Yeah.
know, like it's dumb. Like it's too big. Now everybody knows us.
Well,
But then
here's the
like,
thing.
go ahead.
That band, what I remember about you guys, because my band did some shows with you guys back in the day. I just remember being very taken because I was a dude in a jam band that was like deep inside of me loved funk and like and I didn't know it yet, and R&B and soul music, and I didn't really understand it yet. But I remember doing a gig with you guys one time and just being in awe of, you know, you guys were pulling those elements into what you were doing, because you guys were still, we were kind of in the same circuit. You were in that jam band kind of circuit, which probably was, people like G-Love opened the door for people's brains to be like, oh, we can enjoy electric instruments with like rapping hip hop vibes and funk and R&B and whatnot.
I loved G Love. I was a huge G Love fan.
Yeah, you could hear it in your guys' music, but it didn't sound like G-Love. It was just like, you were influenced, here and there. You could see that.
Absolutely.
But I just remember really at the time being like, wow, these guys have it together. Like, really have it together. Like, you sounded tight. You sounded like you worked hard at what your craft was. And that's all the stuff that I was like hoping to get into a group that had that kind of drive and that intensity and tenacity.
What's interesting about that? I think that at the root of that was like, first of all, that me and my brother are twins and all that. But even the drummer, like we're like friends from childhood. I think like when a band starts that way and you're just having fun and like just getting stoned in the basement or whatever, and like you're almost practicing without even realize you're practicing. You know what I mean? Like
Totally.
I think like, I don't know, like the Chili Peppers are like that to me. They're more like a group of friends that happen to jam. You know what I'm saying? Like, so maybe that's where the tightness comes from. But I appreciate you saying that, man. That's really nice of you.
Yeah, man. I mean, and I really genuinely mean that. I feel like there's some bands that we kind of worked with throughout the years that I was just like, wow, this is like what you do when you put the work in. Like, this is what it sounds like. Funny enough, now my old band, we're getting back together and we just recorded a song, and like we're doing a big show at a theater in Havre de Grace in October. But like when we were getting back together, it's like, if we're doing this, we gotta work hard, and I want to push ourselves and all that stuff, because I learned that work ethic through my college years and into Berkeley. I learned like, dude, if you want something, man, it's possible. You got to work at it though. You got to put the work in. And I can see that in you, and I can see the drive, and like, when you went out west and, watching from afar, and all of a sudden seeing you crop up with Craz, and I was like, holy crap. Because Craz is like one of my guitar heroes, man.
Me too, man. Me too.
So,
I tell
how
him
did that happen?
Man, I tell Craz that shit all the time. I like every once in a while, like me and him are like homies. I work with him. We're working on an album right now. And every once in a while, like I don't think he even fully gets it, because he's just a regular fucking dude like you or me or whoever. I'd be like, dude, you don't understand. Like, I've been to like fucking 10 of your shows when I was a kid. I used to like be mesmerized by you, And he's like, cool. He's just like, cool, man. But I mean, I'm friends with fucking G Love now. I did a song with I think at least one song with him, and we're just homies now too. Like, that's crazy,
It's crazy.
You get to you end up and you know what? I need to be more fucking appreciative of that shit. Sometimes sometimes you gotta step back and be like, that is fucking awesome. You know what I mean? It is awesome that I know Craz. I used to love Soul Live. I still do.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
he's just like got such a great vocabulary. I actually sent him a message today about getting him on here, because I'm like, I have so much I want to talk to him about. But
I could holler at him if you need me to.
Holler if you can.
Yeah.
But that band, and like, you know what I dig about him, and it's the same way with you and people like Charlie Hunter. And I say this quite often on here, but like, fearlessness of like doing something new. Like, where did that come from for you? Like, to feel like, I'm going to do what I feel is right in the moment, like, where do you think that came from?
Fearlessness to do what's right in the moment. Fearlessness to do what's right in the moment. Where did that come from?
Like you're not
Damn.
afraid of what people have to say. Like you're like, this is what I'm feeling musically right now. I'm gonna do it.
You know, that makes me think of like, you know, when somebody, like, if you have a video, a song or something, and nowadays they have comment sections, right? Somebody makes a negative comment. It only really stings if you think it's true, you know? So like if you believe in something and you say and you're like, this is my shit. At the very you might not like it. You're allowed to not like it. It's all subjective. But for me, I feel this deeply. Uh then you just say it loud, you play your guitar loud, you make the faces, you know, you scream into the whatever. Like if you have true confidence in what you're doing and believe in what you're doing, I guess there's no need to be afraid, because if somebody hates it, that's their problem. You know what I mean? I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
I just admire that in you guys because I love the fact that people can reinvent themselves in this industry and still retain their crew and their crowd and their fans and like feel that they're going to be with me regardless, because it's what you said. I truly believe in this. And like
Right.
the new record that you're putting out, which I want to talk about that because we're going to run out of time. But like everything that I've heard off of that right now, it just seems like you're just, I feel like you've had this arc in your career so far from the records that I've listened to of yours, where I can tell that and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I can tell that you're like, I want to try something new, and I want to see if it sticks, and if it sticks, it can be part of the bag, and if it doesn't stick, that's okay. You know what I mean? But like, if I don't try it and I don't put myself out there, I'm never gonna know if it would have worked. Like that's the kind of stuff that I see people like you and Charlie, doing all of Naughty Dread, and then
Right.
turns around and does something completely different that we're expecting this kind of vibe now. And he's like, nope, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do a duo record, or I'm going to do something crazy with horns that like is completely out there. Like that stuff to me is really cool. And super admirable, man. So like, I think that's the fun part about your career and your music.
Man, fucking making me feel good today. I appreciate it. Sometimes I need it. Um first of all, yeah, I mean Charlie Hunter, I think Charlie Hunter can make any record he wants, especially like from the perspective of like, I think that because we all have to make a living, right? I think that he makes a living on the road, you know what I'm saying? And people are going to come check him out. And somebody like me, like I get by enough that I can kind of do whatever I want. You know what I'm saying? I get by enough that I don't have to really be too, I don't know, pandery or something like that. But I also like I told you, I grew up on MTV. I like poppy shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I like catchy shit and sing songy shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's funny because I do a lot of different shit. Like I'll do a country song, I do a bossa nova song, I do like a hard hip hop song, I do whatever. And I think it might be a lot less calculated than you might even think. Like it's very like I just I'm just fucking around, man. I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing. And
Yeah.
I'm lucky enough that I met a few people, my brother being the main one, but like my boy Davey that I work with, he's a he went to Berkeley too. He just knows every genre. You know what I mean? He knows every genre. He's about the same age as me. We connect on a lot of the same shit. Um, and I'm always trying to learn. Like I didn't grow up with bossa nova. I didn't grow up with Brazilian music. That Brazilian music is new to me. I don't know the names of the people who do it. I'm trying to learn. You know what I mean? The beauty of the era that we're in right now is all music is free. So who gives a shit if it's new? It's new to me. I'm still learning about shit from the 40s. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
man.
I'm learning. I'm my song I just did. It's a Les Paul sample, like the dude, not the guitar type. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Like I'm still like I didn't know that song. Like
Which
I'm
track is that? Is that the newest single?
no, there might be the one I'm talking about is this. It's Puff Your Cares Away. I think
Oh, okay.
I think I might have put a thing out on TikTok or Instagram or something, but the song's not out. But
Oh, okay, okay.
but it like with disco music, 70s soul music. I mean, like I just in the last like 4 years, I've gone through its Steely Dan's whole catalog. I don't really know Stevie Wonder's catalog. I'm going through that. I know a lot of it, but trying to get like better at that. I just wrote down on my notes like I don't know David Bowie. David
Right.
Bowie's the shit. I don't know shit about David Bowie except for the main hits. So like what else do I got to do? I'm going to try to get up on David Bowie, you know what I mean? And if I make something that's inspired by David Bowie, it wasn't like I was trying to necessarily, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just I just really enjoy the process of it. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
really enjoy making music, and I wish, like anybody else, I wish that instead of getting this amount of streams, I got this amount of streams, or whatever. That's never enough. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, but as you get older, you kind of get more realistic. Like it's really a blessing that I get to do it for a living at all. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, man.
I'm just trying to have fun with it, dude. I'm just trying to have fun for the most part.
That's what makes you who you are, and that's why people are attracted to it, is because you can tell that you are having fun with each and every moment that you are doing it. So
Man, you're fucking giving me tingles and shit. Dude.
oh
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, dude. Fuck.
man, dude.
I need this kind of shit. You know what's funny is I feel like in the deepest depths of our humanity, we make music for acceptance. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere in this, we're trying to get laid or accepted by social groups. You know what I'm saying? Even though I sit here by myself and mostly do this shit by myself, somewhere in there, we're doing it for some level of like you're good at that, or like I want to fuck you because of that, or something like in the deepest depths, you know. But you saying these nice things to me as like really touched me today. I don't know.
Well, dude, I'll tell
I
you,
really appreciate it, man.
I love music and it's a huge part of me. And like, if I didn't have it, I would be lost. So, like, when I have stuff that inspires me, like, dude, talk about heroes. Wax, I just met Derek Trucks
Wow.
3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. I went to see him at Wolf Trap. And the keyboard player in Tedeschi Trucks now, this guy Gabe Dixon, I know him. He played on my last single that I just put out this past year. We went down to Nashville and recorded. Actually, the shirt is the album cover, but he
Sure, that's fire, by the way.
thanks, man. But so Gabe was like, you should come. I'll get you on the backstage afterwards. I was like, are you for real? And he was like, yeah, I can hook you up, man. So I went back with my buddy Andrew and like just hanging out with Gabe and whatnot. And I was talking to him. I was like, dude, can you please introduce me to Derek? I don't want to walk over to Derek and be that guy.
Right.
Like, I got you, son. So like he brought him over and I was just like, dude, like, thank you for the inspiration first and foremost. Like, you have no clue how much joy you've brought me, and pain with trying to learn how to play slide guitar, but like
Right.
how much joy you've brought into my life. Like, so it's that's the same thing, man. It's symbiotic with like other musicians. I feel like there's, and I love all types of music, dude. Like I'm a guitarist. I play mostly like blues, funk, that kind of stuff. But like, I love hip hop. I love, some metal stuff. I love bluegrass, like all that stuff. I mean, I'm super into it. But when I like really connect with something, and I think I connect with you on multiple levels musically, but like, the way that you approach writing lyrics too, like, is so great because you have this like witty humor, but like make you think, dropping truth bombs, like just like speaking your mind. That is so refreshing because there's no, and the way that your cadences work in terms of like your rhymes and the way that you flow with stuff, it just is different than other stuff. Like, I mean, I'm into like Anderson .Paak. I'm like got huge into Watsky back into like 2011 or something like that.
Yeah, both
But
homies of mine.
yeah, both great dudes, both great musicians. And but the way that you approach it, you're so different than those guys in the sense that you managed to make this social commentary that's tongue in cheek, but also kind of be right up in your face, and also can be super witty and make you laugh at everything, So it's like you almost have this like Elliott Smith type way as a rapper. Like, you know how
Wow.
Elliot would write these really like happy sounding harmonic progressions, but these super sad lyrics. It's
Dude,
like,
I gotta get. I'm super not up on Elliott Smith either.
oh yeah, man.
There,
You gotta,
I have huge musical blind spots, and I'm trying to get like I said with David Bowie, like Elliott Smith is one of them, man. I now especially after what you just said, I gotta check it out.
yeah.
I got a lot of homies that are big Elliott Smith fans that say he's the truth and shit. I got to get on that.
Oh man, he really is. Well, we're gonna run out of time. I could talk to you
Now,
forever.
hold on. Let me say
ahead.
something real quick. First of
Yeah,
all,
yeah.
thank you for the lyric shit. This is making me feel really good today. But also about Derek Trucks. I've never met Derek Trucks. First of all, there's a clip on YouTube where he's playing and BB King looks back at me and goes, "That is some of the best I've ever heard in my life."
Yep.
And it's like it gives you chills to watch it if you haven't
And
seen
John
it.
Mayer's like,
oh yeah. That's right.
He's
John
up there,
Mayer is
too.
in there. John Mayer is up there, right? It's a great clip on YouTube of that. But Derek Trucks, he's like super close with Craz, and I heard him on Craz's podcast. He's like regular dude. You know what I'm saying? Regular, down to earth dude, as most people that you meet kind of are, especially just like dudes that are really good at guitar. You know what I'm saying? Like they're just down to earth people that just like anybody else. Point being, all these people you could get on your podcast, dude. You could get Derek Trucks on here. You could get Craz on here. Like what you're doing is cool. I saw you had Guthrie Trapp on here. You know what I'm saying?
man,
like,
he's great, dude.
He's amazing, dude.
Have you guys worked together?
No, I know of him because I just was partying in Nashville and saw him play and fucking followed him. And I just like his shit is crazy, dude. He's so
fire, dude.
He's so fucking soulful and tasteful with his licks, dude. But there's no reason you could like. You could if you reach out to people, like a lot of musicians, especially in kind of like the jam band world and shit, like they'll do it. You know what I mean? They'll do it.
Yeah, I did talk to Derek that night and talk to him about it, and he was like, "I'm down, dude." And he's like, "Just talk to my manager, or whatever." And the manager said, "He's like, not right now, dude. He's not. It's because they're just putting out those 4 EPs." He's like, "We've got so much international press and stuff we have to do." He's like, and I was like, "Well, it's an open invitation. Maybe in the future, we'll see."
Right,
right. But Vinny from Mo, the drummer in Mo, is going to be on here in a couple weeks, and I love Mo. I mean, I grew up hardcore into Mo and Fish and Widespread and all that stuff.
I was into more Fish than Mo. I went to a few Fish concerts in the 90s. And
was that the last time you saw those cats back in the 90s? Probably.
I saw let me think for a second, because I saw Trey solo at like at a festival. But even like, it's funny, even that was like 20 years ago, probably. But
right.
Yeah, I saw Fish in the 90s. I never got to see the Dead when Jerry was still alive.
Yeah,
I did see the Dead at the Hollywood Bowl. I saw the Dead at Dead and Company with John Mayer. It was fucking awesome.
I bet.
I love the Dead. But yeah.
Yeah. Dude, we have to hang out sometime, man.
I'm down,
and shoot
man.
this shit forever on this
Where
stuff.
Where are you at in Maryland?
Just like north of Baltimore. Like,
Okay.
I'm gonna try to come to the show at the 8x10 if I can. Is it sold out already?
It's close. If it's not sold out, there's like 5 tickets left.
Oh, damn.
It's getting close.
Okay, that's awesome.
If it's sold out, hit me up. Maybe I can get you in. I can't guarantee it though. I can't guarantee.
That's fine, dude. I don't expect it. That's fine. Yeah, I'll do my best. So I want to ask you, so before we kind of run out of time, so the new record. So when's the whole record coming out?
I think that you might think that all these singles I'm dropping are from a album. I'm just dropping singles.
Okay.
They're not really. The album that I'm working on is none of that shit's on it.
Oh, okay. Look at you, Mr. Prolific. That's awesome, dude.
but you might, dude. I'm telling you, might have me switching my my mode up here, because like maybe I should put it all on an album. Why not?
Why not?
And nowadays I could at least make a playlist. You know what I'm saying? Be like, here's a Spotify playlist that kind of works as an album called "Shit I Put Out this Summer." You know what I mean?
Mr. Prolific. You can use that.
I like that. That's funny, man, because I was just talking to somebody how, and me and you especially would be considering how we grew up and what age we are. We're programmed to think of music in terms of albums. You know, the youth isn't like that. They just put out songs. They'll put out a song every month or whatever, you know, and these are just songs. If you want to put them on your playlist, you make your own album with whatever songs you fucking want on it, you know, but
Yeah.
But the album I'm working on is actually a completely different thing.
This is the one with Craz.
That's another different thing.
Dang. See, look at you. You're all
I'm doing
in, man.
I'm doing a lot right now, man.
That's
about to go
awesome.
on tour. I'm moving. Like I'm doing too much. I'm actually overwhelmed. I had a panic attack the other day, if I'm being honest with you.
Oh, dude, I mean, trust me, man. I got my own anxiety. I bet. It's like that's a lot going on, dude.
But
You're
it's
not.
good.
Are you moving far from where you are now, or are you just?
I'm
Is it
moving from
pretty
like
local?
yeah, I'm moving from like San Diego to San Diego. I'm moving in
Right.
with my girl.
Oh, nice,
Yeah.
dude. I love San Diego. I love
Yeah, it's
San Diego.
nice.
Oh, it's so great. So great.
It's nice.
So are you like? Is this the first like big tour since all the COVID stuff crapped the bed? I know you did a little stuff, but like, is this like the first? I'm getting out there, man. It's time. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
It's the first but I'm a little nervous. I haven't really done shows in a while. But actually last year when I did a 3-show run. I did LA, San Diego, and Phoenix last year. And I booked the shows when they thought COVID was over. And like a week before the shit, like one of the new variants came out or whatever. And it was
yeah,
weird. It was really weird. We were
yeah.
weirded out by the whole thing. I'm still weirded out by it a little bit, but I had COVID recently. So I feel like I'm kind of like, fuck it, dude.
We have to live our lives, man. I mean, we got to the point where it's just like we've been holed up in our house for 2.5 years,
This is a
and
thing that people
you
get
know,
now. It's a thing that people get. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, it's gonna happen. I mean, we're all
Yeah.
vaxxed and boosted. I mean, we'll, hopefully, won't go to the hospital.
I'm vaxxed, boosted, and I think I'm triple boosted because I got it recently.
Right?
You know?
Yeah.
And if
You're
it's like
gonna.
if I get it again, if it's like it was, like I could perform with that level of sickness. I've had worse sicknesses on tour before, you know,
Right,
when I
yeah.
used to be a maniac and party, like, you know, I got sick all the time, you know?
Oh man. Well, so you're coming back east to do some shows. You're coming back to Baltimore, which is cool.
Mhm.
What are you like? What are you most excited about with getting back on the road after not doing it for that long? Like, what's most energizing about it? Because it's a grind.
Yeah. I actually like the I think compared to a lot of people, I actually like the grind of it. I like driving the van, you know what I mean? I like stopping at rest stops. I like the kind of like summer campness of it, you know? It's like this you
Yeah,
live in
man.
an alternate universe. It's a straight up alternate existence that allows you to kind of have a weird level of freedom in a way. There's a mental freedom that comes with every day you have a set thing, you know?
Right.
I'm looking forward to you know, it's a little I'm not it's funny because I don't really look like I'm more like I get in my head a little bit about like the work of it. So I don't get excited until like I'm the first day, you know. I'm like
Right.
I got a new DJ I've never played with before. I got to make sure I know all my fucking lyrics. I've been practicing. I have so many songs now. Like I
I
got to
know.
figure out the set list and like you know, I try to do like the last tour I did every night. I do like I do like 25 minutes of hip hop shit. Then I just do me and the guitar and I do like 20 minutes. Then I do 20 more minutes with the DJ again. And for the acoustic set, I always try to vary it up just like for my own entertainment, you know, like
Yeah.
there has to be at least one song every night that you didn't do on the other nights, you know?
There you
And
go.
I have enough shit to do that now. And it's like, I just got to make sure I know it all. And, yeah, I don't know. I worry about, you know, it's funny that it doesn't really make sense, but I don't have any vices anymore. Like I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do nothing. I'm a lame. You know,
Right.
like, I don't know. I got to figure out like, I do worry about the temptation of that, even though I know I'm not going to, I didn't drink on my last tour, so I'll be fine. But
Yeah.
I do worry about some of the road temptations, but it's less about the temptation and more like at the end of the night, I'm going to go get a milkshake. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the
That
fuck,
sounds
dude?
delicious.
Yeah.
I'm the
I'm
same
not,
way, dude. I'm such a lame-o. Like I would never, if I was on the road, my wife would never have to worry about me, coking it up. I'd be like looking at buying guitars and she's like, dude, you gotta stop buying guitars, man. Like
that's hilarious. Are you a gear guy?
oh my God, yeah, dude. Like, I mean, in as much as I've been on a quest to find my tone to sound like me for like the past 5 years or so. Like I love Derek, but I don't want to sound like Derek when I play slide. I play slide on a Strat, and I play an open C, not open E, so it's deep and it's like baritone.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah. So like this guitar I had next to me, I was working on. That's C. So it's So open C tuning.
So what's the open note?
So it's C G C, and then E G C. So I have.
Does that make it get out of tune real easily? Tuning it that low?
I had it set up, and my strings are actually the top string is a 17, and this is a 64.
Gotcha.
So they're thick strings. So like,
it sounds fucking awesome, man.
It's dope. It sounds great. And when you put some fuzz on that thing, man, buttery smooth. It's gross.
Damn, a low C. That's deeper than death metal, dude.
Dude, yeah. I mean, it's like, baritone tuning kind of thing, but
right.
But yeah, I mean, I'm super into that stuff and trying to find my tone, and I found
it.
Get
your help. I'm an idiot. Like I just go with my acoustic guitar and I just plug straight into the DI. This time, on my to-do list, I'm going to Guitar Center. I'm getting some kind of preamp, like effects pedal. Because even I got this Taylor guitar I got. It doesn't have a built-in tuner, so at the very least, I have to get a tuner pedal. That I don't, I want to get an all-in-one kind of pedal to make my shit sound dope. Because like I'll like watch footage, I'll be like, really? You just have a dry acoustic guitar? Like it sounds like shit. It sounds like shit. Like I don't try hard enough,
Yeah, but I mean, are you gonna get like the LR bags thing with the? I can't remember what that's called. It's called like the Venue or something. It has a tuner built into it, and it also has like a bypass, so like you can cut it so there's no signal and stuff. It's nice.
I'm trying to let me see. My boy sent me, what the fuck is that thing he told me to get? He has this brand that's like the one that he swears by, and they have a couple of different ones. Damn it, which one is it? I'm sure this is super entertaining for the.
Well, while you're doing that, my buddy Jeremy said this earlier. Crab cakes and football. That's what Maryland does.
Right.
Wedding crashers.
Right.
Nice quote. Yeah, well, hit me up. Yeah, if you have questions about that stuff, I'm all in it, dude. Like to the point where for so many years, how many of us have like tried to get that Stevie Ray Vaughan tone thing?
Right.
And I, at some point, shunned it. I was like, no more freaking tube screamers, man. Like, I'm done with tube screamers for now. Like, I don't want to sound like Stevie. I want to sound like me. I want to sound like dark. I like really dark sounding stuff for guitar. Not to the point where it's muddy, but I don't want super bright, sizzly Stevie type tone,
Right. The only tone I ever tried, to really kind of at least somewhat copy really was, and it was all I did was get a arch top Ibanez guitar and a Fender tube amp, was Craz's shit really, which is kind of like stems from George Benson and Wes Montgomery and shit, but like, even to this day, I got this guy. This is they call it the George Benson model, but it's like the George Benson model Ibanez, and if you plug it in, like whatever, like that chord that Soul I've played every song.
Yeah.
That chord, the Hendrix chord on but
sharp 9,
but on the low E string. Like, however, if you slap that chord and it has like a crunch, but not without distortion, a crunch just from the fucking amp. You know what I mean? From the over fucking stimulating the amp. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're like right on that edge of breakup. That thing. Yeah, I mean, if you hear me play, you'll be like, oh, you cop that from Craz too. So I'm guilty of that. I'm way guilty of that. My phrasing, even sometimes my phrasing, I'll listen back. I'm like, oh, dude, I was like totally in Craz zone right then. So
see, I think funny. my like phrasing. Granted, I don't do a lot of lead stuff anymore. I was better at lead guitar whenever you saw my band play. I was better then. Than I am now at lead. Yeah, definitely, because we used to jam all the time. Now I'm in studios and I'm writing. Like I don't really. I wish I did, but I don't like jam.
Yeah.
Same thing with like freestyle rapping off the top of the dome. Like It's a thing that you have to do all the time to be good at it. So you can easily get worse and worse at it. But I wish that I spent more time kind of learning some new licks, kind of biting a little bit here and there and stealing more stuff from people, because I feel like, you know how it is. You always you're so familiar with yourself, but I feel like my shit is so stale. Like I've been playing the same fucking riffs for 20 years. You know what I mean? Same riffs, the same pentatonic riffs. You know what I mean?
I think we all are guilty of that too, though. I don't think you're alone in that pool. I think you're all right. I think we're all peeing in that pool for a long
I mean,
time.
if you ask Craz, he would say the same shit about himself. He'd be like, "Yeah, I'm just fucking sick. I'm just always playing this shit." You know what I mean? Like, whereas to us, it's like that. You mean that fucking virtuosic, amazing shit you just played? You know?
Totally. Hey, speaking of freestyle, who do you think is like the king or queen of freestyle right now? Like who's like crushing that game?
Like off the top of your head, freestyle.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a dude on YouTube named Harry Mack that like is exceptional at it. He's like, if you watch some of the videos he does, it's genius as shit how he does it. I don't, and I only say that because I don't really know anybody else doing it. I don't really know who the other people doing it are. It's kind of a lost art for him, you know. It's kind of like, my boy Dumb was like, freestyling now is like what dads do it around the grill at barbecues. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh no.
Yeah.
I always thought
it's true, you know.
Yeah. I always thought Slop was so great at that. Like if we were ever playing in Annapolis and he rolled in to get a beer and watch us, I'd be like, you got to get up here and do something. Like,
yeah.
You know, we'll be as funky and as greasy as we possibly can be, and you can just spit for as long as you can spit. So
yeah, he's been and he's been doing it forever, you know. So he can he's a crowd he can move a crowd, MC, you know.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude. Well, I don't want to hold you up all night, and I'd love to spend more time picking your brain, but I want you to get back to your life, and I want to, if you don't mind, I want to do the lightning round get down with you, brother. Let me tell you what this is. I'm going to ask you, first one of season 5, man. I'm going to ask you 10 questions, and I'm going to put a metronome on just for some added suspense. Just, you know, make you pee your pants just a little bit. But I'm going to ask you 10 questions. Get the lady off the train tracks. Yeah, so I'm going to ask you 10 questions. They're kind of this or that, either or, you know, whatever. You can tell me.
Answer them fast.
You know, and you can explain your answers if you want. I love explanations, but you don't have to.
Okay.
All right. The first one, I'm going to change it up this season. It's been the same for 4 seasons, and I was like, you know what? I got to change it up because people have opinions about this. But for you, season 5, this is probably going to be the question for season 5, but Beatles or Stones?
Beatles.
Okay.
Not even close. It's not even close at all.
Electric or acoustic?
I mean, you know, that's like being like, you know, I mean, I don't want to say apples or oranges, but it's like more of like, what mood are you in? Like if I'm sitting by the water, like it's like beer or wine. It's like, what are you pairing it with? You know what I'm saying? It's
right.
Like, for me personally, I play acoustic because that's just because usually when I play, it's just me and a guitar. So for me, it's as you said, the paintbrush the canvas that you paint over top of, for me, it makes more sense to use acoustic because it's usually that's it. If it's just one thing, acoustic is better.
Okay. Funnel cake, soft serve ice cream. I'm talking boardwalk. I'm talking OC boardwalk stuff, man.
I mean, I would go with soft serve ice cream, but I do have a soft spot in my doughy heart for funnel cake. Yeah.
Me too. All right. Yes or no? Are melon crab cakes the only crab cake?
I'm telling you, man, like, you know, I always talk shit about Philly because they talk about their cheesesteaks. I'm like, why do you have to be in Philly to make a cheesesteak? You think the best cheesesteak I had, I love to tell people from Philly this. The best cheesesteak I ever had was on Melrose in Hollywood. I love to tell people from Philly that because they're always talking about their cheesesteaks. And you know, you go to Philly and some of the places where they serve cheesesteaks aren't even that they don't even make them with that much love and shit. And you know, you go to like lobsters are from Maine. You know what I'm saying? They make the cheese in Wisconsin. The potatoes are from Idaho. Like it's not like the cows are from Philly. You know what I'm saying? They're not growing up in Philly and there's fucking cheese is from Philly. So my point is, and my point in saying all that is like, that doesn't apply to Maryland crab cakes for whatever reason, man. Especially in California, when you try, they'll have on the menu Maryland crab cakes, and it'll suck. It'll be shitty, and it's just, they really don't know what they're doing, and it's to a person from California, and you know this if you're in Maryland. If you get something in Maryland, it's like California chicken sandwich. They just put avocado on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's it. So like they think that Maryland crab cakes is like they have to do the minimal shit just because it's a crab cake that it's gonna be all right. But like, nah, yeah, like you have to be in Maryland to get it. And I just experienced that recently because when I came back, my girl wanted to have Maryland crab cakes, and I asked all my friends, I was like, "Where's the best spots?" And I went to like the spot that they said was the best, and it was.
Nice. Yeah. You can't beat a good crab cake here, man, at all. When I was living in Boston, we went out for like a work dinner. And we were at this seafood place in Boston, and my boss like, you're gonna get, look at this, says Maryland crab cake. You're gonna get it? I'm like, it's probably trash. And the waiter came around, he was like, what would you like? And my boss was like, oh, he'll have the Maryland crab cake because he's from Maryland. And the waiter was like, don't get the Maryland crab cake.
Right.
So
he's had bad experiences with Maryland people who are already snooty about crab cakes. You know,
right.
I am. You know.
Yeah, totally, dude. All right, back to the list. All right. Kendrick Lamar or Anderson .Paak?
I mean, that's weird.
Yeah, it is.
It's kind of, for me, it's apples and, first of all, like I know Anderson .Paak. I used to do songs with him and shit. Like say I have to pick him. And I think if I had to just have one of them for the rest of my, like Desert Island or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm a big Kendrick Lamar fan though, man.
Yeah.
Like if you really added up the hours of music that I've listened to Kendrick more probably, you know?
Really?
And that's not taking away anything from anybody. But I got to go with Anderson .Paak for sure.
All right. What was the record he was on? Who was the cat that was Watsky's keyboard player? And he put out a record and Anderson was on it. And it was that song.
Kush Modi.
Yeah, Freight Train.
That's funny because the album that I'm making right now, Kush is producing it.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
He's got a freaking great musicality, man. Like his sense of time and rhythm and like harmonically speaking, that dude did he go to Berkeley? Didn't some of those cats go to Berkeley?
Kush did. Why am I fucking this up? They all went to school in Boston. Some of them, what's that
Emerson.
Some of them went to Emerson and some of them went to Berkeley, if I remember correctly. And Kush is gonna be like, Kush is like a really, really, really good friend of mine. We hang out all the fucking time. We're working on an album. We've been doing it for like this whole year. And for some reason, I can't remember if I want to say he was going to like UMass. I don't think he was going to Berkeley, but he hung out at Emerson with Watsky and a bunch of them other cats.
Yeah.
I don't know why the fuck I can't remember if he went to Berkeley or not, man. I think he might have went for a year or something like that. But he's a really, really talented dude, man. Yeah.
He's a beast.
My next album, which is almost finished, is entirely produced by him.
Oof, I can't wait to hear that. That's gonna be dope.
It's cool. It's different. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, nice. All right, regular fries or sweet potato fries?
I'd have to go with regular if we're talking for the rest of time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, with the cheesesteak, regular fries, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. East
Sometimes
Coast.
You gotta go with the regular fries because really fries are more like the way chicken breast is. It's more like a vessel for sauce. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Take the Chick-fil-A waffle fries. Like you're really just tasting the Polynesian sauce or the honey mustard sauce or that ranch sauce or whatever. So like sweet potatoes have so much of their own flavor, which is, don't get me wrong, sweet potato is probably the most flavorful vegetable, all natural that there is. You know what I mean? You don't have to put anything on sweet potato, but for the rest of my life, I'd go with regular fries because it's more like a vessel for sauce. You know?
Yeah. I like that. All right, man. East Coast or West Coast sunsets?
West Coast.
Yeah, I would agree. All right. Skydiving or bungee jumping if you had to do one?
I've gone skydiving.
You have?
In Salisbury, Maryland.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
How was that? Was that freaky?
It was crazy. I was coming home from Ocean City with my girlfriend at the time, and then her cousin and her boyfriend, and they were gonna stop in Salisbury and go skydiving. And we watched them watch the instructional video. And I was so broke at the time that like the $200 or whatever to do it, I was like, I'm not doing that shit. And my girl was just like, let's do it. And I'll pay for it. And I did it. The day before, if you had asked me the day before, would you ever skydive? I would have been like, hell no, I would never do that shit. But I did it, and it was really scary, but really fun. It was really fucking scary, but
I bet.
it was the scariest part was when they opened the door. To me,
I've
that
heard
was the part that was the scariest fucking part to me.
Man, that's crazy. Orioles or Ravens?
Well, I grew up going to Orioles games. There's a really special. There's a place in my heart, like for the Orioles, man. I'd have to go with the Orioles for sure. I actually grew up in the DC area, so I would have been a Redskins fan, you know.
Right, and the Nats weren't around at that time.
No,
So we didn't have that. The Orioles are making a run for it right now, man. They're doing pretty well. I don't know if you're following baseball, but they're doing pretty well.
I couldn't name a person that plays baseball.
Right.
I don't follow sports at all.
Yeah, I really don't either, but
I did though. Like when I was young, like I used to, when I was young, I followed sports, I played sports, like, but I just, as you get older, you just kind of funnel, like, what do you allow your time to do? And sports is gone.
Yeah, I do. Same way.
I watched the Super Bowl. That's it.
I hear you, dude. All right, Wax, last one. Sometimes it's the hardest, sometimes it's the easiest. You might really like this one, you might hate me for it, but if you could take one record and erase it from your memory, like Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, so like you've never heard it before, just so you could go back and listen to it again for the first time and experience it for the first time again, what record would that be?
My first thought is Voodoo, D'Angelo Voodoo, but so many things have spawned off that album that I feel like I would have to erase a bunch of shit that it was influenced by it as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Because I was really mesmerized, and still to this day, that shit is crazy to me. Maybe some of that, maybe like an album that really touched me as a kid, when I was young, was Bizarre Ride to the Far Side by the Far Side.
I've never heard that record.
Like, you should check it out. I mean, granted, this was like, there's a study. You know how old people are always like, music just ain't the same as it used to be. It has nothing to do with the music. It has to do with the way your brain develops. And whatever you listen to when you're 14 will always be the best music to you, because you'll never experience something the way that you experience that for the first time. It has nothing to do with the music. It has everything to do with the way your brain developed. And that album just hit me at the right time. And it kind of reminds me of what you said about my shit earlier. You're like, yeah, it sounds like you're having fun. This album sounds like four dudes in a rap group that just got one in the studio and just had a lot of fun, you know?
Nice.
And it just really spoke to me when I was young. But
that's awesome, dude. That's so killer. I'll check it out, man. I'm in a mode right now where I want to hear new things to push me to write different things too, you know, like kind of not lock me in a box, but like open my mind to like, oh, I never thought about doing that. You know what I mean?
That's funny because I'm in the same thing. And I was thinking about it when you mentioned, what's her name? Madison Cunningham. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned her tapping on the guitar and getting that extra harmonic. Did you ever skateboard? Were you into skateboarding at all?
Yeah, I tried to. And my kids getting into it. I never learned how to ollie, and I really still want to do that.
Well, but you'll understand this. So like, it's the cool thing about skateboarding is it's really easy to see the evolution, because first it was an ollie, then it was a kickflip, then you did a kickflip into the tail slide, but now you kickflip out. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like when I was a kid, we're just doing the tail slide. Then people younger than me kickflip, tail slide. People now kickflip, tail slide, kickflip out. It's very easy to see the progression in skateboarding. That's what I love about it. And the kids now are kickflipping out. Madison Cunningham doing that shit. She's kicked. Like I listen to some new people and I'm like, whoa, the shit they're doing with melody is like beyond what I do, you know? So like sometimes I like to see what the kids are doing, because like sometimes a lot of times adults, what they see is like, what the hell are they doing, is actually super fucking innovative and beyond them. But like, especially in hip hop music, sometimes nowadays, like it's not enough just to rap. You have to carry these crazy melodies. And like, there's a couple people that I'm just like, man, like they're kick flipping out of shit. They're taking this shit to the next level. They're making shit evolve. Whether it's her doing what she's doing with the guitar, or people doing like microtonal shit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is, man. But
I
it's
love
good, man.
that analogy. It's great. I love that.
Yeah, you
It,
can always see it in skateboard. It's hard, like basketball. It's hard to tell. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to tell like if somebody's better than Michael Jordan or whatever because they're doing the same kind of shit,
right.
But skateboarding is right there. Well, he used to tail slide. He kick flipped out of a tail slide. Oh yeah, well he 360 kick flipped out of a tail. You know what I'm saying? Like you can tell. Well, he
Yeah.
360 kick flipped out of a tail slide, then landed in a manual and kick flipped out of that. You know what I mean? So it's very obvious,
Yeah. Oh man, it's a Tony Hawk night for me. I think I'm gonna have to fire that up. Oh man, dude. Wax, man, thank you so much for doing this, man. This was such a fun hang, and like I said, I couldn't think of a better way to start off the season. It's been a blast talking to you.
Thank you for having me, Mark. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna go watch the rest of your episodes because I only got into the Guthrie Trap one a little bit. So
Nice. Yeah, check it out, man. And then you should definitely check out that Madison Cunningham. Like that's a good one to like sit down on the couch and watch with your girl and be like, whoa. It's only like 4 songs. It's only like 25
that's
minutes.
another thing that I like about Tiny Desk.
Yeah, short.
It's a
Yeah.
little taste.
And this is like a big old mouthful when you watch this,
Right,
man.
right.
It's like it's a lot to chew on. But tell everybody where they can find your stuff, like your music, and like you have a good presence on Instagram and everything. So tell them what's
Sure.
up.
My Instagram is @BigWax. That's @BIGWAX. My website, which would have a link to anything, is wax.com.com. WAXDOTCOM.com. And look for me on Spotify. You can just search Wax. And if you see a similar face to mine pop up, there's other artists named Wax. I picked my name before the internet. If I pick it now, I'd spell it weird or something. But you'll find me on there if you look.
Bunch of great music, bunch of music, not just
Thanks,
not just a record, bunch of music. So, cool. Well, Wax, hold on, stay where you are, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out, and thanks for the comments and stuff on the side here. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. We'll see you next time.
Peace.